Yo, what's good with you? Back in black with some more Enlisted news. Yesterday they released an article that covers the game mode Lone Fighters and how they're going to be changing that into a more hardcore experience and how they're going to be using a lot of community feedback to do so. But before I get into the news, make sure you guys smack that like button and smack that subscribe button as well if you like shooting games. I'm almost at 150 subs, so any support you guys do give me will make sure you end up with teammates that actually play the objective because we all know how hard those are to find. Anyways, let's get into the news. So the introduction of the news article, they basically let us know that the player base of Enlisted has grown to a respectably large number. So large, in fact, that variances in opinions on how people want the game to function are starting to become very prevalent. Some people, like how the game plays now. Me included, I am one of those people, and I feel like the squads game mode is, pretty much the go-to if you're trying to have your typical enlisted experience. And unfortunately, well, I wouldn't say unfortunately, but conversely, there are other people who want the game to be even more realistic and more of a hardcore gameplay experience. Some people, they only want large epic battles. Some people like variances in their gameplay as far as like the size of the map, and they don't like super hectic combat all the time. So in a nutshell, since nobody was really playing the Lone Fighters game mode anyways, they decided to take that and turn it into a hardcore mode to appease those people who did want a more hardcore experience or a more realistic experience, generally speaking. Another point they made, probably the most important change coming to the Lone Spider mode, is that friendly fire will now be enabled. Uh, Thinking about it, this will probably dramatically change how players move around the map and how how quickly people die overall, in my opinion, considering the fact that you will now have to take an extra second to make out what kind of uniform the soldier, you're aiming at actually has on, which is a really nice and very realistic touch, in my opinion. I might have to, it's kind of making me want to try the game mode out a little bit. But yeah, man, just instead of just shooting at anything that you see off in the distance or in the middle of the map or anything that you see on the enemy side of the map, you will now have to, be a little more careful because that could be, one of your teammates off on a flank, or, you just gotta put on your glasses, be a little more vigilant, stuff like that. And this will another thing I'm thinking about is that this will probably also make snipers very effective as their scopes will, easily help them identify long range targets. The negative aspects of killing your team, aside from the obvious point that there will be less teammates around you overall, is that you will also receive negative score. And if you keep killing teammates, you will get kicked from the game, obviously. And of course, if you just become evil in a menace to warfare society, if that even makes sense, you will be temporarily banned from the game mode entirely speaking. So, yeah, don't shoot your teammates, stuff like that. The next big change they wanted to focus on when it comes to reworking the Lone Fighters game mode is to only have massive battles, which basically means that you will only be using the invasion and assault game modes for the most part when it comes to selecting the Lone Fighters, tab or whatever. And that basically features the largest maps in the games. There will also be a couple of large conquest maps like Chateau de Bosque and the Reich Chancellery, since those are really big maps, and the other one the recent one I just named has like 5 capture points. This change was probably made to ensure that players have like they said, have really good tactical space and they aren't funneled into like certain areas where friendly fire is more likely to occur, not only from bullets but also from like artillery and vehicles and mostly planes, because you don't want to have somebody come in with their 500-pound bombs and basically bomb a point where there's a bunch of enemies but also a bunch of teammates, because that's kind of defeats the purpose of bombing the enemy. So yeah, I see what they're doing there. The last change that they are making, and probably the one that gives you the most reason or incentive to even try the Lone Fighters mode out, is the fact that they are increasing the experience gain to match the original squads game mode. So basically that puts both game modes on a even playing field as far as like how much you can gain from actually playing it. Because I want to say like a while ago, like I don't know, when I do play Lone Fighters, like I was playing it a month ago and I tried it out, and like sometimes the game wouldn't even fill up, and if they didn't, they would just put bots in there anyways, which kind of defeats the purpose because they said it was a player versus player experience and there were no bots at all. So it's like, what is the point? And it's like, if you're gonna put bots in there, and if it's going to be less people overall, how it was in the past anyway, it's like, why are you giving us less experience? It's like basically no reason to play the game mode at all, as opposed to playing the squad game mode, which I personally felt kind of in the essence of everything was the game mode that you're supposed to be playing anyways when you play Enlisted, because they made the AI such a big part of the game. It would be kind of weird to take that out. But with all the changes that they announced and like how they're reworking the whole thing overall, I can see where they're going with it. I like the direction of it. But that's pretty much it for the changes. And I want to ask you guys, like, do you play Lone Fighters mode on a consistent basis? And if you do, could you tell me why? Cause I don't know. When I tried it a while back, it wasn't even all that. But obviously, it was. They kept it in the game, so it's got to be doing something. Just way less people on the map, which again, ends up being less experience overall. So I'm glad they're making that change, and I'm glad they're adding more people and making it like large battles only. So yeah, other than that, hopefully, these changes take the game mode in the right direction, and it gives people a reason to play it. Cause I never felt a reason to play it, but yeah, we're gonna see what's going on, and I will keep you guys updated when they actually do drop the update. I will make sure I try it out again, and I will, give you guys some feedback. If you guys enjoyed the video, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you slap that like button and hit that subscribe button again if you love shooting games like I do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Black guy out. Oh, I did get it finally.